Throughout history, certain topics have ignited intense debates, challenged societal norms, and reshaped the course of civilizations. From the shadows of ancient conspiracies to the glaring lights of modern controversies, these subjects continue to captivate and divide us. Welcome to the Controversial Corner, where we delve into the heart of these contentious issues, exploring the facts, the myths, and the perspectives that fuel the fires of debate. Join us as we navigate the complex landscapes of lifestyle, science, culture, and beyond, seeking understanding in a world where truth is often elusive. Subscribe now and embark on a journey through the most provocative topics of our time. Surgery has long been a cornerstone of modern medicine, saving countless lives and improving quality of life for millions around the world. Yet, not all surgical practices have been without controversy. From experimental procedures to ethical dilemmas, certain moments in surgery have sparked intense debates and raised serious questions about patient safety, consent, and the limits of medical intervention. In this documentary, we will explore 10 controversial moments in surgical history that forever changed the way we view medical practice and the boundaries of human health. 1. The first heart transplant, 1967, South Africa. In December 1967, the world watched as a South African surgeon performed the first successful human heart transplant. Dr. Christian Barnard's groundbreaking procedure made history but also sparked heated debates. Ethical questions were raised about the use of a donor's heart, the definition of death, and the fairness of who gets access to such a procedure. The patient, Louis Washkinsky, survived for only 18 days after the surgery, which led to further questions about the long-term viability of heart transplants. This event paved the way for advances in organ transplantation but also brought forth concerns about medical ethics, the role of consent, and how to balance innovation with patient safety. 2. The thalidomide tragedy, 1950s-1960s. Thalidomide, a drug prescribed to pregnant women for morning sickness in the late 1950s and early 1960s, was later linked to severe birth defects, including missing limbs, blindness, and other developmental abnormalities. The tragedy led to a surge in medical scrutiny around the safety of drugs, particularly for vulnerable populations. Although thalidomide was not a surgical procedure itself, the medical consequences of its use raised profound ethical questions about the responsibility of doctors in prescribing medication and the need for stricter regulatory oversight of pharmaceutical products. In many ways, it set the stage for later discussions about medical safety and the risks of new treatments. 3. The lobotomy controversy, mid-20th century, USA and Europe. One of the most controversial procedures in surgical history, the lobotomy was once widely used to treat psychiatric conditions such as depression and schizophrenia. This procedure involved severing connections in the brain's prefrontal cortex, often resulting in profound changes in personality and cognitive function. While it was touted as a solution to mental health disorders, lobotomies caused irreversible damage to patients and often left them in a vegetative state. The ethical implications of performing such a procedure, often without informed consent, sparked public outrage when its damaging effects became clear. The lobotomy's legacy remains a stark reminder of the dangers of medical experimentation and the importance of patient autonomy. 4. The controversial use of hormone therapy for gender transition, 1960s present. The use of hormone replacement therapy, HRT, for transgender individuals is a topic that has sparked intense debate and controversy for decades. In the mid-20th century, medical professionals began performing gender-affirming surgeries and prescribing hormone therapy to help individuals transition. But these treatments were often met with skepticism and discrimination. In some countries, HRT was banned or heavily restricted until the 1990s. Even today, the use of hormone therapy for transgender individuals continues to face opposition from conservative groups, with ongoing debates surrounding the safety, ethics, and access to these essential medical treatments. The growing acceptance and understanding of gender identity have led to significant advances in transgender healthcare, but there are still ongoing controversies surrounding its ethical and medical implications. 5. The forced sterilization program's 20th century. In the early to mid-20th century, several countries, including the United States, Canada, and Sweden, implemented forced sterilization programs, particularly targeting marginalized groups such as people with disabilities, those living in poverty, and certain ethnic minorities. These programs were often carried out without the informed consent of the individuals involved and were justified on grounds of public health or eugenics. The ethical violations and human rights abuses inherent in these procedures sparked widespread condemnation once the true scale of the forced sterilizations became known. Today, such practices are considered deeply unethical, but the history of forced sterilizations remains a stark reminder of how surgical interventions can be misused for political or social control. 6. The first IVF baby 1978 United Kingdom. In 1978, the birth of the world's first test tube baby, Louise Brown, marked a milestone in reproductive medicine. In vitro fertilization, IVF, allowed couples who struggled with infertility to conceive a child, but the procedure was also met with controversy. Many religious and cultural groups opposed IVF on ethical grounds, particularly the idea of creating embryos in a lab and the potential for designer babies. As IVF became more widely accepted, other ethical concerns emerged, including the disposal of unused embryos, the commercialization of reproductive technology, and the potential for genetic manipulation. Despite the ongoing debate, IVF has become a mainstream treatment for infertility, and it continues to raise moral questions about the intersection of technology, reproduction, and ethics. 7. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study 1932–1972 USA. Between 1932 and 1972, the U.S. government conducted an infamous study on African American men with syphilis in Tuskegee, Alabama. The participants were never informed that they had syphilis, and they were denied treatment, even after penicillin became the standard cure. The unethical experiment lasted for decades, with researchers deliberately withholding medical care to study the progression of the disease. The scandal was only revealed in 1972, sparking outrage and leading to significant changes in medical ethics, particularly regarding informed consent and the treatment of vulnerable populations. This tragedy remains one of the darkest chapters in medical history and serves as a reminder of the importance of ethics in research and patient care. 8. The plastic surgery boom and body dysmorphia 1990s present. In the 1990s, the rise of plastic surgery, particularly cosmetic procedures like breast augmentation and rhinoplasty, began to gain mainstream popularity. While these surgeries provided life-changing results for many patients, there was also growing concern about their impact on body image and mental health. Many individuals seeking cosmetic surgery were found to be struggling with body dysmorphia, an obsession with perceived flaws in appearance that could be exacerbated by social media and unrealistic beauty standards. Surgeons and mental health professionals began to raise ethical questions about whether some patients were seeking procedures for the right reasons. The growing trend of body modification surgeries continues to spark debates about self-image, societal pressure, and the potential harm of altering one's body in pursuit of perfection. 9. Organ harvesting controversies ongoing. Organ harvesting, particularly in countries with high demand for organ transplants, has been a source of controversy for decades. In some cases, individuals were illegally detained or even killed to have their organs harvested for sale on the black market. In other instances, governments have been accused of involuntarily harvesting organs from prisoners of conscience. These practices have raised serious ethical, legal, and human rights concerns, with international organizations calling for stronger regulations and oversight in the organ transplant industry. The issue of organ trafficking remains a significant challenge, with ongoing debates over how to balance the need for donations with the protection of human rights. 10. The use of experimental treatments 1990s present. Throughout the 1990s and into the present, there have been instances of experimental surgeries and treatments being offered to patients who were desperate for a cure, often without sufficient evidence of their effectiveness or safety. In some cases, patients undergoing experimental procedures were not fully informed of the risks involved, and the treatments failed to deliver the expected results, leaving patients harmed or disillusioned. These controversial practices raise questions about the ethics of offering unproven treatments to vulnerable individuals and the importance of patient consent in experimental procedures. The rise of miracle cures and untested interventions continues to pose ethical challenges in the medical community. These 10 controversial moments in surgical history serve as a reminder of the delicate balance between medical progress and ethical responsibility. While surgery has undeniably saved lives and improved the health of millions, history has shown us that it's crucial for medical professionals to prioritize patient safety, informed consent, and ethical considerations. As we continue to advance in medical knowledge and technology, we must remain vigilant in ensuring that surgery and medical interventions are used responsibly, with the well-being of patients at the forefront. Thank you for watching. If you found this documentary insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on technology, business, lifestyle, health, society, and global issues. What are your thoughts on these controversial moments? Let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.